Précédemment, sur Farming Together, j'ai décidé de partir en Nouvelle Zélande avec Gilbert, un technicien de l'entreprise, avec qui j'ai pu découvrir les différentes facettes de ce pays, notamment au niveau de l'élevage laitier et de l'élevage de moutons. Bonjour à tous, moi c'est Arthur de Farming Together et aujourd'hui j'ai décidé de vous emmener en Nouvelle Zélande. Cet épisode est la deuxième partie de mon road trip dans ce pays et j'ai décidé de vous emmener découvrir l'agriculture chez nos utilisateurs locaux. Dans cet épisode, vous découvrirez notre importateur ainsi qu'un éleveur de moutons. On aura aussi l'occasion d'aller voir un chantier de semis, un chantier de labour et un chantier très peu ordinaire puisqu'il s'agit d'épandage d'azote via les airs. Comme d'habitude, si cette vidéo vous plaît, n'hésitez pas à vous abonner à la chaîne Farming Together et à activer la cloche pour ne manquer aucun de nos épisodes. Je tenais aussi à vous faire part qu'on sera présent au CIMA la semaine prochaine, à compter de ce dimanche, jusqu'au jeudi 10 novembre. Voilà, c'est tout pour moi, je vous laisse dorénavant profiter de cette vidéo. Deuxième étape du voyage, Wellington. Donc là on est arrivé sur l'île du Nord. On vient de récupérer la voiture et on va aller suivre John jusqu'à sa concession. Ici, je viens d'arriver chez notre importateur John Tulloch. J'ai rendez-vous avec Nick qui va nous expliquer comment fonctionne l'agriculture en Nouvelle-Zélande et comment fonctionne son activité. Il est juste là.
Welcome.
Hello Nick. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So here we are in New Zealand with Gilbert to discover how you work here and what is your main activities. So can you tell me more about your main activities and agriculture in New Zealand?
Sure. Come inside.
Yeah.
That's some of the older employees. Okay. In this division here is Ashley in this office. She's the marketing person, and then we have Mark in here who's the accountant.
Okay.
And then myself in this office, and then John Tulloch, the manager.
Okay.
He's in the last office. Cool. So this is my office here.
What is your job here in Tulloch Machinery?
My job is to look after the dealer network in the North Island.
Okay.
So right from the very top of the country in the north, all the way down. So we've got dealers in that part of the country. And then Tim is based in Christchurch, and he looks after all of the dealers in the South Island.
Okay. And what is the main activity of this company?
The main function of the company is we're importers.
Yeah.
So we import product mainly from France, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Canada, North America.
So all products for the farmers?
Yeah, we bring these products in and then we distribute them. We've got a dealer network for the whole of New Zealand. It's about 31 dealers,
okay,
independent dealers.
Okay. So you work with some dealers, and how about the farmers here in New Zealand? How is the agriculture here?
The agriculture at the moment mainly is dairy.
Okay.
Okay, that is our biggest industry in the agricultural sector, and then thereafter there's a lot of cropping.
Yeah.
And that mainly takes place on the east coast of the North Island, and the South Island is a lot of cropping. So that's like small grains like maize.
Okay.
Wheat and barley, and also maize. And then in the South Island there's a very strong seed industry. So we grow a lot of seed around the world, and the main reason for that is because of our distance from the rest of the market. It makes us a safe place in case of disease, because the parent seed is obviously very critical for growing crops. For example, New Zealand grows 90% of the world's carrot seed.
Oh wow!
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's also in New Zealand that there is a lot of world record about the yield.
Yes, yeah, no, we've got some very good growing conditions. Yeah, we've got very reliable rainfall, so that gives us the ability to grow a very large variety of crops, from stone fruits to orchards to wine. The wine industry has grown quite substantial, with some huge numbers of award-winning wines.
Yeah.
Kiwi fruit is another very large industry, where we're selling kiwi fruit all around the world.
Okay.
Yes.
It's very interesting. There is a lot of things here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I saw also a lot of irrigating system. So can you tell me more about that? Why you all farmers use that, and why on pasture especially?
Because of the dairy industry, it is important to keep obviously good pasture, so we can get the best benefit of it.
Yeah.
And that is mainly in the North Island, whereas the main part of the dairy, which is the Waikato and Taranaki region. But on the east coast of the North and the South Island, it's a lot drier, so that's not as well suited to dairy. However, in the South Island, they've got some very large rivers. Okay. And what's called the RDR, or the Rangitata diversion race, has for many years had water channeled through small canals to farms, and more recently, with the increased viability of dairy, there was a push to put dairy cows in that area with proper irrigation, instead of going through canals, going through pipes. And with pivot irrigators instead of flood irrigation, made it much more efficient with water usage. And of course then, as a consequence, the dairy industry has taken off. As well as in the southern part of the South Island as well. There's a very strong dairy industry, mainly because of their more reliable rainfall. So it's very strong there as well. In addition to that, of course, I shouldn't forget that there's a very strong beef and sheep industry here. Obviously, New Zealand founded a lot of its agriculture on sheep initially. And together with that, in some instances combined with deer. So the deer.
We saw a livestock of deer at the entry of.
That's right. So it's quite varied. As I say, because of the good climate we have here, there's a vast amount of agricultural produce that can come from the country.
So thank you for this presentation.
Enjoy your stay. Thank you.
Bye. Maintenant, avec Gilbert, on part voir un ensemble Sky sur un Valtra jumelé, qui était d'ailleurs plutôt sympa. Je vous laisse découvrir ça avec moi tout de suite. Désormais, nous nous dirigeons vers notre autre importateur du pays, l'entreprise Norwood, qui se situe dans la ville de Palmerston North. Là, j'ai eu la bonne surprise de rencontrer Mathilde, que j'ai pu filmer durant les premiers épisodes de la chaîne Farming Together avec Estelle. D'ailleurs, je vais vous partager la vidéo en description si vous souhaitez revoir cette vidéo ou la découvrir. Et donc avec Mathilde, on va partir à la découverte de différentes fermes et de différents chantiers, notamment à la découverte d'un magnifique 936 nouvelle génération et d'un chantier très peu ordinaire, comme je vous en ai parlé au début, l'épandage d'engrais par hélicoptère et par avion. La spécificité de l'épandage par hélicoptère et avion se caractérise par la volonté des agriculteurs à ne pas vouloir tasser leur sol, du fait de la compaction déjà bien présente due à l'élevage. L'objectif est aussi de pouvoir épandre des engrais minéraux dans les endroits difficiles d'accès. Bon, j'en ai dit assez, je vous laisse profiter de ces quelques images de ces deux engins incroyables.
Hi there, I'm Bruce Ebbett and I am the fourth generation on our family farm, settled originally in 1887 by my great-grandfather who sailed out from England. We still own the original family block, and the farm has expanded now to 330 hectares. We have 2,000 breeding ewes, 200 cattle, and we fatten all the progeny from the sheep off the farm.
Okay.
The cattle policy is we buy in young stock and we fatten them through till they get to around about 500, 550 kilos on the cattle. With the sheep, the progeny are fattened through to live weights exceeding 40 kilos, probably approaching 50 kilos and live weight. Sheep are shorn twice a year for their wool.
Okay.
You're asking about the management of the sheep.
Yeah.
Shorn twice a year, shorn prior to lambing, which lambing is in August through September. So the sheep are shorn prior to lambing, and then they are shorn again in a February period of time. That's the adult sheep are shorn.
Okay.
The lambs are born, docked, and then they are fattened. The lambs will be shorn in January, February period of time as well, because take the lambs, the longer wool off the lambs, and the lambs have a good growth rate after they're shorn. With the hot summer, if they've got too much wool on, of course, they probably get a bit too hot. Yes.
And today, how about the market of the wool?
Oh, the market of the wool is not good at the moment. It is costing us $5.50 per sheep to get shorn, and the wool return would be about $2.50.
Oh, yeah.
So the proceeds from the wool only covers half the cost of the shearing. So wool is a cost to us at the moment.
Today it's not very interesting, the market of the wool, but I suppose you have a market for the meat?
Market for the meat, yes, there seems to be good red meat market sent overseas to all markets overseas. And yes, so red meat with beef and with mutton and beef products. There's a good market in the meat, but as for the wool, it seems to be very strange because it's one of the world's most natural fibres, and you would think that it would be, but it's just synthetics and things like that. But I think wool will make a return. Yes.
Understand. And how do you manage your pasture here in this farm? Because I saw you have one block.
330 hectares of farm divided into, I don't know how many paddocks, probably many paddocks, averaging in size probably 8 to 10 hectares per paddock. So the stock are rotationally grazed around. When it comes to lambing time, everything is lambed outside, nothing indoors. So the sheep are set on each paddock at so many sheep per hectare. So that they have a uniform amount of grass. And as you saw when we were going round, it's pretty even spread of grass, predominantly around the farm, except for new areas that we have been experimenting with a new vigorous species of grasses that are growing a lot more grass. Yes,
in the growth period. A little bit dormant when it's cold and in the winter, but when the spring growth comes and the growth period, they perform. And I think you've seen today that there was grasses that were probably, covers were only about that tall, whereas some paddocks we came past, they were like that.
And this kind of grass is maybe more used in the livestock of cows?
It's a derivative of the of dairy farm species of grass. Yes. A little bit Italian species in it. We've got plantain and chicory, sort of like a fruit salad for stock. Gives them a big, and the weight gains for the lambs on these new species is just phenomenal. It's just yes.
Okay. So how long do you keep your sheep on your farm?
So with the lambs are born in August, and they would be starting getting to weight, early ones in December, 40 kilos live weight, and then we just keep taking the plus 40 kilo lambs go to market. With the breeding ewes, they have a lifespan of around about 7 years before they have to go to market. So we reintroduce the ewe lamb progeny. To retain our breeding flock, we have to bring in ewe lambs to keep our numbers up. So we sell some old sheep, we bring in the new sheep, and they are born and so they're replaced on the farm. Yes. So all the lambs and the ewes are scanned prior to lambing, and this year we achieved a scanning percentage of about 180%. Lambs docked out in the paddock and lamb tally about 160%. So our 2,000 ewes have yielded us about 3,200 lambs. So we'll have 3,200 lambs to market. Talk about your lambs, and how do you know that this lamb up to weight? Yes, right. So every 20 to 30 days we bring the lambs through to the wool shed, and they are put across a weigh machine, which automatically drafts them into the weights that we want, and we can pull off the heavy ones to go to market. The lighter ones are drenched or animal health taken care of, and then put out onto the pastures. So by rotating them round, they're supposedly getting lush, fresh grasses that they have good growth rates. So it's a good tool to help you every day to do your job. Yes. Like these two dogs. These two dogs, he's getting a bit bored with the job. Yes, my good friends here. Yes, Okay, good. So thank you for welcoming me here on your farm, Bruce. Yes. I will continue my trip around New Zealand. I hope you do. So enjoy the rest of your trip around the country. It's not a bad place to live, New Zealand. It's pretty good. Yes. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Cheers. Ideal. Well done.
Voilà, donc c'est sur ces dernières paroles que je vais vous laisser sur ces vidéos de la Nouvelle-Zélande. J'ai pris beaucoup de plaisir à aller filmer dans ce pays et à vous partager ce contenu. J'essaierai de continuer à vous partager des reportages dans lesquels j'essaierai de vous transmettre ma passion pour l'agriculture. Voilà, j'espère que cette vidéo vous aura plu. Si c'est le cas, n'oubliez pas de vous abonner à la chaîne et à activer la cloche pour ne manquer aucun de nos épisodes. Moi je vous donne rendez-vous avec Estelle aussi la semaine prochaine. Nous serons présents sur le stand H81 dans le hall 5A. Je vous souhaite une bonne semaine et n'hésitez pas à me dire en commentaire si vous comptez vous rendre au CIMA. À la prochaine sur Farming Together.